What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV. You've joined us for the preview of the big one. It's Arsenal versus Manchester City, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. kickoff. And this preview is brought to you by Paramount UK. And here's a little bit more on them here. Right, people, it's a huge game at the Emirates as Arsenal take on Manchester City, looking to close the gap at the top. We've remained unbeaten in the last 4 games against Pep's sides. And let's be real, City have struggled to find any form since Haaland told Arteta, stay humble here. And our friends at Paramount UK are offering you free bets for the occasion. To claim this offer, simply opt into the promotion using the promo code AFTV10 and then place a £10 bet builder on Arsenal versus Manchester City. You'll then get a £10 free bet to use on any market on the match. And this offer is for both new and existing customers. You must be 18 and over, a UK resident, all full terms and conditions apply, with links you need all below in the description. A huge thank you to our friends over at Paramount UK for sponsoring this video. It's red versus blue, Mikel versus Pep, Gunners versus the Citizens, all under the Sunday night sky. But the question is, who'll be the one eating the humble pie? Let's go.
So Robbie, basically, I don't know how many of these previews you've done recently, but Cecil does his best to make us try leave the show before we finished it.
I know, but I have been
We did it in Girona, he loved some of these.
He pulled one out in Girona?
He loved
so he ruined your trip, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. No, at first I thought he was using AI to do it, but no AI is that dumb. Right, so it can't be AI.
This is all me.
It can't be AI, I mean, right, yeah.
I'm glad I'm still here though, because Turkish tried to get me sacked because he used to...
Well, I don't agree with Turkish, but on this one I do.
Turkish is available today. When he found out it was the preview you were hosting, he just
said, nah.
Came up with something.
And we got Robbie back in. All right, well, let's talk about it. Let's go straight to, off the back of obviously Gabriel Magalhaes saying wait to the reverse fixture, the back of stay humble where the ball be in front of the back of his head, Gabriel Magalhaes when he's got his shirt up. Has it got a bit of spice to it, this game? Is there revenge on the mind for you guys? Or is it just, listen, there's no revenge, it's Man City. I saw Turkish say, we should be humble, they've won all this. Is there a point in there being a rivalry there? Or do you feel like it is come Sunday?
No, listen, this for me is war, right? It's war, man.
Started strong.
Yeah, no, straight in, man, war. You know what I mean? From the first game, right? You could see that Gabriel was really, really angry. You could see that City were completely rattled. Why Haaland went over and did that at the end of the game, I don't know. You know what I mean? He looked completely rattled.
He lost his head, didn't he?
He completely lost his head. Off in the game as well for throwing that ball. You know, when people talk about, do you remember that when that happened, right? Certain pundits, it's only a little laugh, that's a joke thing, right? But actually, that's much more what I call violent conduct than what we were supposed to be getting done for last week in that game against Wolves. You know what I mean? So I think that there's real needle in this game. I don't think Gabriel, Saliba, those players, they respect, of course, Haaland to the full, but I don't think they like him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he likes them, right? And I think these are two sets of warriors coming up against each other. Both of us thought that we'd probably be battling out for the title at this stage, but we're not. Well, we're still kind of in it, but they're not really. Their title prospects are not that great. And I just think City are a bit rattled at the moment, and but they've hit a bit of form. So this is a massive game, and this for me is war. I like this because it used to be the Man City come to play Arsenal in the not far away, I'm trying to find a word for it, but in recent times, recent times, they come to play us. They never talked about us in this way because they just looked at us as light work. Yeah. They haven't beaten us for a while, and they've seen that over the last couple of seasons, we've been the guys that have been battling them for the title. So, this is warfare.
Yeah, let me, James, before I come to you, I just want to remind people why there's a needle in this game, and war was a strong statement, but I have that same sort of sentiment in the sense that obviously we saw at their fixture, I think it was Havertz that ran into Rodri, or it didn't really give him his ACL injury, but he went down in that game. And also when the Haaland thing happened, obviously he told our manager to stay humble way. Miles Lewis-Skelly said, "Who the F are you?" At one point as well. I remember that.
Lewis Skelly.
Yeah, Haaland said to Lewis Skelly.
He knows who he is now.
Yeah, who are you? And then also, he was just like, Jesus was like, he was bewildered by the way Haaland was acting, like telling him to calm down. So I think there's a bit more, there's definitely a bit more to it, definitely in this game. Do you feel that as well, that sentiment?
Yeah, look, I will say that when that game ended, we all thought, strap in, because this is going to be a tight race, like the old times where two clubs that hate each other are going back and forth. But City fell off a cliff. I mean, let's be honest there. And look, to some degree, they're kind of allowed to with the success they've had over the years. They have one off year, but my word, their form dipped dramatically. Whereas Arsenal kept dipping just enough to keep that gap with Liverpool growing. And then at one point, every time we look like we've closed the gap, they drop points at Forest, at Newcastle. We've never really capitalised, or not capitalised for long enough before they restore that lead. So there's frustration in the Arsenal fan base that we haven't been across the league this season as maybe the distance to Liverpool suggests at times. That we've only lost 2 games. A couple of those draws, Fulham, a last-minute winner was chalked off. Villa, last-minute winner was chalked off. And there's kind of moments like that where you feel like Arsenal could easily have a couple extra points on the board. You look at Man City, the late equaliser against us. Brighton, we had 10 men for the whole of the second half. So it's one of those where we just thought the two teams would be in different positions going into this game. But the needle is definitely there because you've got 3 very physical players in Saliba, Gabriel and Haaland, who are not only technically brilliant, but they'll bring the battle to one another. The midfield battle will be fascinating. Arsenal, some players Arsenal players something to prove. Bukayo Saka missing. I think this could be really interesting.
Was anyone surprised? I looked at the league table and saw they're in 4th. They're not far. They're not. There's
6 points behind us, isn't it? They're creeping up. Yeah, I mean they've had a couple of wins in recent. Haven't necessarily looked overly convincing. They've looked decent. I mean, I thought against Chelsea last week. Chelsea should have Chelsea. Yeah. They handed them the game.
Robert Sanchez.
Even the game against West Ham. West Ham, the way they started, that was at the Etihad.
Bruges could have scored 3 the other night.
Bruges. Listen, I think with them, they're potent up front. Now they brought in Mamouche as well. That's another option. Savinho, and of course we know Haaland's best striker. But they're definitely vulnerable through the midfield, and they're definitely vulnerable at the back. And all the games that we've played against them in recent times have been tight. They've been decided by tiny margins. The game up at the Etihad, I was there, you were there. I thought when we got our second goal, I was like, we're going to win this.
Yeah, I felt confident.
We were just on top, man. The momentum had completely swung.
Facts.
And then we go and get a man. We just had to hang on for the rest of the second half.
Robbie, how's that Trossard decision aged over the months, do you think, that red card?
Well, I think when you see all of the, including in last week's game at Wolves, even I know Gomez got booked for kicking, but there was more balls kicked away and nothing happened. And when you see some of the incidents, it was, as I said at the time, it's going to be one of those rules they phase out quietly over a period of time, right? And that's exactly what they've done. And
Boubacar Kamara at the Emirates did the same thing very late in the game on a yellow kick to Aweza Boslight. And people would just say, James, my word, can you just leave it? But it was such a ludicrous rule that we've been punished twice in this current season, that everyone told us to get on with it and this is the rule. And it wasn't just about whether the rule was fair or not, but it was also about the fact that even if you want to bring that rule in, it's so difficult to critique properly because referees, they've only got 2 eyes. They can't follow everything. So there's always going to be ones that missed. The reason I bring it back up, I know I sound like a broken record. We shouldn't go back to that game. I get it. But it was a big talking point about that last game. And 3, 4, 5 months on, we haven't seen anything like that since. Yeah, exactly. And it just does my head in, and I'm not going to let it go. I know it's boring,
that's another reason what gives this game a little bit of needle because those players will still feel hard done by that they didn't get a victory up at the Etihad. You know what I mean? And I feel there's a lot of needle on this game, and I think that this game, if you're a neutral, is one to really look forward to. And the one thing I think about Arsenal this season. You can say we haven't been fluent. We definitely haven't been fluent, right? We definitely have not been playing the silky football that we've seen over the past couple of seasons. But the one thing, when you consider the amount Arsenal have had this season, when you consider 4 red cards in game, 4? Yeah, 4 red cards in games, right? 4 games we've been down to 10 men. Now, I know that got rescinded, but we still had to do a whole half with 10 men, right? Only one of those games when we were down to 10 men, we lost, by the way, right? We won 1, drew 2, right? Including that one at the Etihad, right?
We lost, yeah.
And despite how we haven't been our best, we've been missing so many players. When you look at that back line, last year, Ben White played literally every game. He's hardly played this season. Saka played nearly every game, or played every game, right? He's been missing. Odegaard was missing for 3 months. But yet still, we're still in second. With 6 points behind, all right, they've got a game in hand, but we've still got a chance. And what that shows, this team, the one thing that they have shown this season is resilience. They're a very difficult team to beat, Arsenal, in this league. They are, right? It's not the usual Arsenal that City used to come up against, say 3-4 years ago. This is a tough Arsenal now. And let's just say, for instance, if you've got a back four of, because we're all saying Gabriel, but if you've got Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Calafiori, that's a tough back four. Even if Marcus Lewis Skelly's in there, they're all physical, they're all tough, they're all strong. I feel this is going to be,
it's going to be fireworks.
There'll be a few yellow cards in this game. Right? Let's hope there's no reds.
There will, and I was going to, we are going to ask about that and talk about that because obviously our disciplinary record hasn't been amazing under Mikel Arteta, and there could be. I think this game does. It will bring forward some opportunities for a ref to take the limelight again. Now, I'm going to read you the ref. I had to do. See, this is the thing now. I have to make sure. I used to do this, but I'm going to give you who's going to be in charge for. That's what we have. That's what we've got to.
Who's the referee on Wednesday night?
Exactly. I don't even know his name. But he was very good. Yeah. Very consistent, he was.
Brilliant.
What bad decisions have we had in the Champions League this season that you can remember?
Exactly.
I remember one. Girona, I think, had a goal. A goal scored against Girona, and the attacking player pushed the defender out of the way. Do you remember that? Do you know who the referee was? Michael Oliver. Oh, God. He's deadly serious.
Seriously? Yeah. It says it all. And it pains me to always have to go to referees, but for this game, the Premier League has confirmed that Peter Banks has been appointed into the role of lead match referee on the pitch at the Emirates Stadium for Arsenal against Manchester City this weekend. Overseeing matters from VAR Hub at Stockley Park will be the Premier League's, they've appointed video assistant referee Paul Tierney, which, I mean, if you know, it's not the best person you want in the VAR in Stockley Park, with support from allocated video assistant referee Craig Taylor. So that's the officials for that game. We mentioned about City, you mentioned about them being potent. I know in that Club Brugge game, they didn't register a shot on target till after, I think, half time, but ended up winning that game. But you can see that going forward, we can shut them out. I think Saliba and Gabriel relish at the challenge of Haaland. They love it. It's going to be physical, but not to dismiss that if they get a clear chance, they can put the ball away. And you said defensively, they've got a lot of injuries in defence as well, but that's somewhere where Arsenal can target. James, for you, I've got a question for both of you in a second, but how do you see this game half playing out? Do you see Pep coming here and to the Emirates and trying to go for it? Really, he's obviously got new attackers. Is it going to be an open game? Is he going to try and stifle us and doing a low block? This is a tough one because Pep's one of the best managers in the world. It's hard to gauge how this game will play out and how Arteta will address it.
I have to be honest.
It's tough.
Apart from the last game, because of the 4 goals, the late goal, the red card, actually recent games between Pep and Arteta have been a bit dull. Yeah. Chess matches, stifling one another. Maybe more Arteta stifling Pep. There's definitely football that has been wary of what Arsenal can do. I think that there's a chance this will be the same, because the temptation is Man City's defence is leakier than it's been for a few years now. Go for it. Just go for the kill. You're at the Emirates. Go for it. But the more you give that way, the less you're leaving at the back to deal with what's still a very potent front line. Like you mentioned, Robbie, for all their problems, they did score 2 in Paris. They did score 2 at Brentford. They did score 6 at Ipswich. Now, they actually, threw away 2 of those leads. But I think you still got to respect City. And I know that it's a bit of a pathetic mentality, but just respect them. You don't have to go all out attack. The chances will come. We'll grow into the game. We might not really start to up the pressure till 15, 20 minutes in, but just be sensible. They're a very, very, very good team. And look at that Haaland goal. When we went to the Etihad, we were a little bit more open on the front foot. They pulled us apart. You're involved, I think Bernardo Silva maybe, and suddenly Haaland's in one-on-one. We can't be letting Haaland in one-on-one, and certainly not at the Emirates. And then it becomes really difficult. I think it'll be a chess match for 20 minutes, but then Arsenal will grow into it and start to take control, I hope.
I think the respect's half gone. I think not between Mikel and Pep, but I think it's a game where it could be it's like a derby feel. You don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. I think it's the opposite to what you got to respect City, but I just feel like if I was a manager and I'm the players, I've got to. Yeah, I want blood, sort of.
But respect doesn't mean be nice.
You want blood, but I'm with James on this. I think it's a tight game because you want blood, but you respect the players that you're coming up against, and you're coming up against top players. You know what I mean? And in Haaland, he's still, probably the best striker in the world. You've still got, they're wide players that they're very dangerous with Savinho and that, and De Bruyne's still there. You know what I mean? And whilst he may not have been as good this season, he's still capable of doing it. And the player that actually is really on form for them at the moment is Foden. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's turned up in the recent weeks.
Scored some good goals.
He's been scoring goals, and he's been looking really dangerous as well. But where we can get at them, the midfield is a bit slow. It's not got the legs that it used to have, and the defence is a bit shaky at the moment there. That means as well, if Arsenal get those chances, they've got to take them.
Kovacic has he's been picking up a bit of form as well.
Going forward, but defensively, and even guys like who've been reliable for them, your Akanjis and Ake, they've looked very vulnerable this year.
I think Ake's
right,
out.
and I think, Arsenal, when the chances come, we've got to take them. Listen, in some of the big games we've had, we've done really well. We stepped up to those big games. But
agreed.
I was only really the big disappointing ones were those 2 cup ones, weren't they?
Yeah,
the Newcastle and the Man United ones.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I think I also look at during the week we were able to rest a load of players. Could leave out Declan Rice, who I think is going to be really important in this game with his drive in the midfield. We was able to give Timber only 1 half, left out the goalkeeper because I don't think he was injured. I think he's been left out, right? What I mean? You could leave out Saliba didn't play. Havertz only came on right at the end. Martinelli, so these guys now, they've had a full rest literally leading up to this game. Where you compare them, they've had an all or nothing game, pressure, 1-0 down, with all the physical and emotional pressure of that game. Then they found out now they've got Real Madrid in the next game. We're going into this game in a good place, right? We're going into this game in a good place, right? Obviously, still no Saka, still no signings up front, but we're going into a place. But we've got to be wary of them. Mamouche comes into this now, and he looks a very good player last week, right? We've got to be wary of them. But I think we can win this game. I really do. We have to win as well. Especially when you consider the day before, Liverpool got a tricky game, got to go away to Bournemouth, who've been on fire. If there is any sort of slip-ups or anything like that, we've got to take full advantage.
Well, you say it is a big game, and you're rightly so. It's a must-win. But I'm going to ask you both this question. James, starting with you, because...
Every game's a must-win.
Okay, but if you could pick between Man City this weekend win or beating Newcastle and getting into a final, because I know how much you want, not how much you want the Carabao Cup, but we both want a League Cup. I would take it. Which one are you choosing? And give me one. Don't do a Julian.
To guarantee one, you mean?
Yeah, so you guarantee a win on the weekend, or you guarantee a win and through to the final against Newcastle.
No, I want to beat City. Man.
Oh.
Yeah, me too. City.
Really? Both of you?
Yeah. City.
Beating City and a big signing, if we were, would just galvanise the season. It'd give us belief, I think, for if there is a title running, but more important, the Champions League as well.
Yeah. Beat City.
Big belief.
2 big signings, right? I'm being greedy here. Right? Then go on holiday to Dubai and come back and
just kick on.
Absolutely smash that second half of the season. That's what would be great.
Saying that, I was looking at City's next fixture afterwards. They got a gap, so they can go full strength. They got Leighton Orient the weekend after this game.
Yeah, but who cares about next weekend? We just got to deal with them this weekend.
Yeah, but I'm saying, Arsenal have we have a tough
No, but we were listen. We've
about Newcastle.
Yeah, and then after Newcastle, we've got a break because we're not in the FA Cup. Yeah. So to me, full pelt at this game, full pelt at Newcastle. I don't even think about Newcastle right now. Go and beat City. Because you beat City, that gives you confidence as well at Newcastle.
Yeah.
Do you know, Robbie, I've actually been feeling that I haven't been my best on these videos recently, and I think an AFTV trip to Dubai just so we can our energy levels and come back fit and fine.
That's how everybody's been on. Let's go to the thing is about it though. When you go over there, is that they're not playing a game, are they? So if they was playing a game, I think we'd be definitely.
Oh, we'd have to go over there and do too much.
No, but even without the game, I think it's important we go. Tactical insight will go up levels if we make our way to Dubai for a good. Just 4 days. Yeah.
Oh, I'm with you there, James.
Yeah.
I actually fancy it, but
Next week. Hi, I'm Robbie in Dubai. Welcome back to AFTV.
There's not a game on.
Listen,
Dubai Daily.
I could do it. I could do with a rest man after doing transfer daily every day. I'll tell you that.
Dubai Daily would be class. Let me.
I'm here with Julian because he invited himself.
He just turned up, and then Lee's over there with his flip flops and tanning. But we're all here. Right. Let me read this just one stat that I've read a few throughout this preview. But this one actually took me a little bit by surprise. You may have seen this or know this, but Manchester City have lost of their last 40 Premier League matches played from January until the end of the campaign, winning 33 and drawing 6.
Crazy.
Losing 1-0 to Brentford on the final day of the 22-23 season. They are unbeaten in their last 23 of these games across the last 2 campaigns. So from this period...
And that Brentford was a throwaway. They'd won the title already, yeah.
Correct.
And they had a treble to fight for. Oh my word.
That is a mad... So from this point on, normally, listen, this is a completely different... It's a different City, well, what we believe we're seeing right now. But from this point onwards, they normally just crack on. And hopefully we can do that this season.
That's what they've mastered. That's how they've won titles every year. Well, over the last few years, is that the second half of the season is when they really come alive. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's almost like they time it. This the second part, but I think it's a little bit of a different City this year. I really do. We've seen them struggle in the league. They struggle in the Champions League. I'm not sure they're gonna go on that. Let's try and stop that run. You know, any possible run that they can go on. We need it for us. Yeah, we need to go. I mean, remember last year we went on an unbelievable run.
Yeah, we did
in the second half of the season. It was just that theirs was slightly better.
We lost one game in that run, didn't we?
Yeah. The Villa game. So we need to win this game. If any title hopes really, we've got to keep winning. Got to win this game. It would be a massive, like James said, win this and get a signing in. It'd be an unbelievable morale boost.
It'd be huge, and I believe that the club are working hard to get someone over the line for deadline day. But let's hope that comes through. Let's get
What's that cheeky smile?
No, nothing. Let's get to score predictions. Let's get to score predictions.
Sources have you got?
Let's get to score predictions now. We're coming to the end of the video. Obviously, I want you guys to answer in the comments as well below. Newcastle or City. Hopefully, we can win both. But which one would you choose? Which one's more the bigger game for you? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get to score predictions, boys. Let's start with James. How do you think this game's going to go?
I delusionally said 3-1 to Arsenal.
No, not delusional. Wait till you're mine.
It's quite nice. What? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You know
I've gone 2-1. I don't think we'll lose the game. It could possibly be a draw as well, but I'm going to go for 2-1. I think the set pieces might play a big part in this game as well. But yeah, I'm going 2-1. We've got to take our chances though when they come. Have to.
Okay.
That's the other thing that's been costing Arsenal. We create things, but we don't put them away. Got to do that. If those come this week, we have to take them.
And I'm going to go 3-0 to Arsenal.
3-0? It's
a big scoreline. It's a bit ballsy. Do you know what? I think
that would shock me.
Clean sheet would be
unbelievable.
3-0 would be us.
I think some of the people, I don't know, I think people underestimate the power of just like, the revenge aspect, the emotion. Listen, you got to respect City, but I just think Arsenal.
Don't forget, they're going to be
respected City.
I'm going to be pumped as well.
To be fair.
Well, let's see. I'm hoping for that scoreline. I think the boys have enough motivation and you know, fire in them to go for it. Get a clean sheet and we win 3-0.
You believe in that, yeah?
That's the energy I've got this week. Come on, Arsenal. This is go and put a statement. Go put a statement on the people that actually club that disrespected us when we played them in a reverse fixture. It's just a message to all the players. Go for it 100%. Let's embarrass them lot. Can't wait. Big game. Listen, before we go, there'll be a Predicted 11 video where I'll give you the updates of the players that are out for City and the players that are obviously out for Arsenal. So look out for that on the channel. Go check out the Chicken Shop Challenge. We had Boovy on there. A nice one in build up to this Man City game as well. Robbie and Boovy, enjoy that one. It's all right.
It's good.
He could be a grumpy old man, our Boovy, but look, hopefully you lot won.
He's a bit more humble, isn't he?
So check that out on the channel, and obviously all the things building up to this game. It's a huge game this Sunday. Check out everything on AFTV, and again, a big thank you to Paramount UK for sponsoring this video. We'll see you again soon. Take care.